Well, I tell you, politics is never boring, anyway. And it's a very long time since I've had the opportunity to address the House from up here, though I spent many years on these back benches. And the place looks a lot different when viewed from here than it did viewed as I did for a while from the chair below. But a chléirigh na dáil agus mo choleacathe is bralum an deis seo áil cúpla focail a rá rivan ol tábhacán tácht go tá teacht. Agus an cédul sios ba bhailm mo bhuichas a gháil leis an berta digbriglum san dara dáil is tríocha agus an tríocha tríú dáil mar lascin Comhairle siad sin Pat Cope agus Catherine Connolly, dibrig an berta go D&D healach agus gnáras is líní Unric Macánta iad. Berta tá falsúnacht acu atá bunathe go chumláin service poibli. Today, colleagues, I address you with immense pride and a deep appreciation of having had the privilege of serving as Comhairle of the Dáil. A little over 8 years ago, I stood before this House as a candidate in the first ever secret ballot for a truly impartial and independent chair. And at the time I spoke of the need to respect all members equally and to work on behalf of the Parliament every day to protect and promote this Dáil as a vital institution in Irish life. That has always been my objective, undertaken in a manner I hope that was respectful and inclusive, regardless of political differences. Working closely with members from all sides, together we have achieved a great deal. A newly established business committee that gives every party and group an input into the work programme. A new and independent parliamentary budget that advises us on the outcomes of public expenditure and advises us on the cost of proposals that are put before the House. An enhanced Office of Parliamentary Legal Advisor that gives us today, and gives in particular to backbenchers from government and opposition, the chance and the resources and the support to be legislators in a way that was never possible before. Annual parliamentary symposiums on the pressing topics of the day, such as mental health, forums on family-friendly and inclusive parliament, parliamentary privilege and safe participation in public life. The work we have done has shown that when we choose to work together in a respectful and collaborative approach, we can and we will succeed. I always intended to stand down after 2 terms as Comhairle, but in the final days of the last Dáil, people from across the political spectrum, for whom I have great personal respect and admiration, began to approach me. They asked me to consider standing again in order to provide continuity, to provide stability, and to play a significant role in smoothing the transition from the 33rd to the 34th Dáil. After careful reflection, I decided to put myself forward. I'm wondering today, was that such a good idea after all? But my candidacy on this occasion is time limited and has a particular focus. And as we sit here today, we have 75 members in the House who did not sit in the previous Dáil. So my aim is to ensure that we support them to settle quickly into parliamentary life and become effective parliamentarians who represent their constituencies and their country to the very best of their considerable abilities. The process of Dáil reform, which I've already referenced, is not yet complete, and crucially, within the next 2 years, we have an opportunity to not only safeguard these reforms we've made, but to build on them and enshrine the primacy of the Dáil as the true centre of Irish political life. On both the domestic and international stage, there are many challenges facing this House on which we must take a lead. And it is within our power to address the critical issues of the day, to build on the progress in housing, to continue with the development of our health and education sectors, to take the necessary initiatives to strengthen and forge new relationships with the incoming Trump administration, which has so much potential to impact on us here, and to address collectively, on behalf of our people, the murderous regimes of Putin, Netanyahu and other dictators, while keeping a careful eye on the significant shifts in the political landscape in many of our European neighbours. And as we look to the north, I'm particularly proud to have reactivated the North-South Interparliamentary Association, which, as envisaged in the Good Friday Agreement, has the potential to build ever stronger North-South relations on this island. Within the lifetime of this Dáil, we have an opportunity to build a new Ireland based on mutual understanding and respect. All of us in this House relish that challenge and the opportunity that it presents. And as regards the body politic itself, all too often people looking in at us here in Leinster House, do not feel engaged in our political system or indeed our processes. At times they are frustrated and they feel disenfranchised, and it is up to us to change that. 40% of our people did not vote in the general election. We must aim to include, not exclude, to engage and not isolate. To change this, we need to come together and overcome what are relatively minor difficulties very often between us. Colleagues, today the House faces a difficult choice. In Angus, Verona and John, you have three other candidates for whom I have the height of respect, having worked with each of them for many years. I acknowledge their calibre, ability and commitment and contribution to Irish political life and the vision that they set out today. In conclusion, for those of you who know me and have worked with me in the past, you know what I stand for and how I will work. For those of you I haven't had the privilege of working with yet, I make the same promise I made when I first stood for this office. I pledge to be resolute and a steadfast support for you and to work for you each day, to treat you all with equal respect and dignity and to ensure that your voice is heard. And as far as the new members are concerned, it's a voice for change, to ensure that you're heard in this new Dáil. Together we can continue to work, to strive to make this Parliament the best possible version of itself and worthy of the trust and respect of the great Irish people who have sent us here to serve. Go raibh míle maith.